All right. We should be live now. I am currently streaming from a hotspot uh, on my phone. So let me know how the stream quality is. Can you guys hear me first? I want to make sure we're good. Um, so let me know first, and then I'll try to get to the breakdown, and hopefully this holds. I'm going to do. Looking like right now it's working, but let me know in the chat. Um, if you guys are there, or if you, so I don't see anything yet. Let's go to DK. All right, cool. At least I see comments. Let me know how the stream quality is. Is it decent? Okay, I just looked on my phone. Looks good. Okay, let's do it. Let me just tweet it out really quick. Can't believe this is actually going to work, but new here, like your content. Thanks, man. All right, so let's get into it. Again, we only have 30 minutes. We have a lot of news to go over, a little over 30 minutes, so I'm going to do my best. Might have someone come into the car in a bit, so I'll try to just keep it going. All right, let's go over what we know. So a lot of stuff. Let me try to go back to the beginning of the day. Let's see. Okay, this was it. Westbrook unlikely to play is huge. I think Harden is one of the top plays of the day. If you can get to him, yeah, I mean his usage is insane. Real Jake Anderson, the $10 super chat, dude. Thank you so much. That's crazy. I know you've been literally super chatting every single day, as well as you hit me with that big Venmo too from your win. Again, congrats on that huge win. But thank you for continuing to support. So let's get back to it. Yeah, Westbrook again. I really do like Harden. My one concern is, are the Lakers going to follow suit and just double team Harden every play? Right. So we've seen multiple teams do that already, and that really does take a hit to Harden's upside. I'm not going to put too much weight into that just because with Westbrook out, again, Harden's upside is just insane. We got LeBron James out. Also huge news. So it was a back-to-back. I was thinking, maybe one or either both or AD and LeBron would be out. So with LeBron out, I love Anthony Davis. Already mentioned really liking him. My concern, which is, it's a viable concern, I think. It's a back-to-back, and the Lakers don't have a whole lot to play for. Is AD going to get his normal minutes? I think if Anthony Davis gets his normal minutes, he could absolutely crush his salary. No one on the Rockets will be able to stay with him. Again, my concern, does he get his normal minutes? We saw it with the Bucks. They rested Giannis. They rested Middleton. I think, if they were going to rest AD, they should just, I don't think they're going to play him limited minutes. Like, if they're going to play him, I think they're just going to give him a normal run, but you don't know. So I am a little bit uneasy with AD, a back-to-back, and LeBron out. We have KCP probable. Let me close the door because we do have some people coming over. Markieff Morris listed as probable. Alex Caruso questionable. That's pretty big. With LeBron out, Caruso's a guy that I would definitely consider as value. So that's someone to keep an eye on for sure. If he's out too, does Quinn Cook start at point guard? He would become certainly viable as a punt. Again, with Westbrook out too, I think that makes Austin Rivers. I think that makes Ben McLemore more playable. Let's see. Eric Bledsoe will continue to be on a minutes limit. Again, Dragic we have ruled out. I think Kendrick none. I think Tyler Hero the biggest beneficiaries. I think Iguodala gets good run as well. Brogdon available to play. That's a slight hit to Oladipo, slight hit to T.J. Warren. Sabonis out indefinitely. Again, still sad about that. We have Gary Harrison Barton out. We just got news that Paul Millsap is out too. I think Jeremy Grant, Mason Plumlee get a little extra run. I think they're viable cheap plays as well. Again, there's a lot of cheap plays. The big news here is Jamal Murray still remains questionable, so we'll see. And then Schroeder is without timetable for return. Let's go over the odds really quick. Pacers Suns at 229 over under. The Pacers are 2-point favorites. Heat Bucks 224.5 over under. Bucks are 9.5 point favorites. Clippers Mavs 231 over under. Clips are 4.5 point favorites. Trailblazers Nuggets 232 over under. Trailblazers are 4.5 point favorites, and Lakers Rockets at 225.5 over under. Rockets are 4-point favorites. Real quick before we get into the team-by-team breakdown, if you guys enjoy this content, would really appreciate it if you leave a like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's go for first with Miami. So big news here. Obviously, no Jimmy Butler, no Goran Dragic as well. So Bam Adebayo gets a boost at 7-7. I think his price point makes him a little tricky to get to just because Harden, AD, a lot of the studs look really, really, really good in this slate. So maybe the more balanced approach is contrarian. If I was going more balanced, I'm not. Again, I'm getting Harden, I'm getting AD in my lineup. I think Bam Adebayo would become certainly viable. Again, he gets a huge boost there with no Jimmy Butler. Duncan at 5K I think is fine, but I would rather get some other plays in Miami, like a Kelly Olynyk, who I assume is going to start. I assume gets good minutes. We saw the last game he played a little backup 5-2, so he's a guy that's been filling up the stat sheet. I have interest in Kelly O, even at 4-8. Jay Crowder's fine at 4-4. I think he's a guy that will probably get 30 minutes. I just prefer getting to a guy like Tyler Hero at 3-6, who I think has to play at least 25 minutes. He's had to do a lot more offensively with no Dragic, no Jimmy Butler. I really do like, did I already pass over? Did I pass over him? No, Kendrick Nunn at 4-1. I assume, again, he's been really limited. I think he has to get at least 25 minutes here. When we've seen games where Jimmy Butler and Dragic have been out before, and Nunn has like crushed it. Like he has huge upside. I think he has to get the minutes here. I'm not going to get to airplane mode. I think the last guy I would consider here is Iguodala at 3-3. I think he certainly plays a punt. I think we probably get 30 minutes or so. Not a super, super high usage guy, but a guy that will kind of fill up the stat sheet. So Iguodala is a solid play. Really, my interest here in Miami is probably Hero 1, Nunn 2, Kelly O 3, Iguodala 4. Let's move on to Milwaukee real quick. So Milwaukee, I don't think you have to get to anyone here. I think Giannis makes for an interesting contrarian play because a lot of the ownership is going to go to a guy like AD, a guy like Harden. I'm not going to get to Giannis at 11K. I'm not going to get to Middleton or Brook Lopez. Really, just no one really stands out for Milwaukee. Giannis is going to have to do a lot. He's going to eat up a lot of the usage. 11K just seems fine. There is a little bit of bullet risk. That is another thing I do want to mention. With no Butler, no Dragic, there is a chance this game blows out, right? What was the spread? A 9.5-point spread. So definitely that's a real possibility too. So with all that being said, again, I'm not going to get to anyone in Milwaukee. I just think no one really stands out. There's a lot of really good value plays that I'm not going to do it. So let's move on to Indiana really quick. We have Brogdon playing. I think that's a slight hit to everyone else in the starting lineup, that being Warren, Turner, Oladipo. I'm not going to get to Aaron Holiday, even though he should still get a good run, but his upside's capped with Brogdon playing. Brogdon himself at 6'8", I think is a viable play. Should play over 30 minutes, a guy that will fill up the stat sheet, which I do like. It's a really good matchup here, too. So I think he makes for, again, an interesting contrarian play because the price point makes him a little bit difficult to get to. This Indiana-Phoenix game, this is my favorite contrarian game stack. Again, I just think this game has a lot of upside here. I like TJ Warren 2 at 8-4, but 8-4, again, kind of feels like a lot. Is he going to continue to shoot that well? I don't know, right? It's a revenge game, though, against his former team, who traded him away for nothing. So TJ Warren's in play, but are you going to play him over AD? Are you going to play him over Harden? That's a decision you have to make. I'm personally not. I'm going to Harden. I'm going to AD. I like the upside more when LeBron and Westbrook are out for both their respective teams. Turner's at an interesting price, too, at 6'2". Makes it a little bit tricky to get to him. Again, I like this game as a contrarian stack. If I was making multiple lineups, I would probably have a good amount of exposure to this game just to get different. But for the one lineup guy, again, I'm prioritizing getting Harden. I'm prioritizing getting AD in my lineups. The mid-range just makes it a little bit tricky to get to a lot of these guys. Oladipo, I mean, I liked, but with Brogdon playing, I think it takes a slight hit to him. Again, a lot of these Indiana guys I like, but it's hard to get to them on the slate. It really is now with all this news that we got. So, yes, if you were making multiple lineups, I think get a lot of exposure to this game in like one. I just really think this game has a lot of upside. So, I mean, those four starters, Oladipo, Turner, Brogdon, and Warren, I think are all in play, but maybe just secondary plays. Like, I don't think I can prioritize them if I'm just making one lineup. On the Phoenix side, the one guy that really stands out to me and someone that I'm still getting to is DeAndre Ayton. I think with all the news coming out, I think his ownership will drop just because, again, a lot of people are going to try to jam in AD, jam in Harden. There's some other solid plays like Jokic, Millsap. There's Michael Porter Jr., possibly Jamal Murray, who I don't think we got that news yet. He is still questionable. Let's see. He is... we have Nunn, Robinson, Crowder, Adebayo, and Olynyk. That's a lineup we expected for Miami. Okay, doesn't change a whole lot for me there. DeAndre Ayton at 7-2. I just love the upside here. The match against Miles Turner. Not a great or good defender, and should play 35-plus minutes. The price continues to come down. I do really like Ayton there at that price. Booker makes for an interesting play as well, but I prefer Ayton for his salary. Rubio at 6'6", another play that again, he's going to go really under the radar. I think does have upside, though, at 6'6", a guy that will fill up the stat sheet, but makes it tricky when you're making only one lineup, right? So again, if you're making multiple lineups, I would get some exposure to this game to get different, maybe make a more balanced lineup, right? Maybe go for guys like Oladipo, maybe a guy like Miles Turner or TJ Warren, and then pair him with like Ayton or Rubio, something like that, right? Get some exposure to this game if you're making multiple lineups. But that's my thoughts. I think Ayton would be the one guy I'd consider for if you're only making one lineup, just because I do really like that price. Clippers, Mavs. These are going to be secondary plays for me. If you land on Kawhi, if you land on Paul George, that's fine, but I'm not going to go out of my way to play him. Again, AD, Harden, that's who I'm prioritizing in the slate. We have no Montrez. We have no Pat Beverly. That's a slight boost to Reggie Jackson, but I'm not going to pay $6K for him on this slate. There's just better options. Can he still get you to that price? Sure. I'm not going there. Lou Williams is intriguing. I don't know if we got that news that he's being limited. I assume they're still going to limit him. If not, I think Lou Williams could become viable if he gets like 28 minutes. Zubac, again, makes for an interesting contrarian play, 4-8. I think he gets 25 minutes, but again, makes it a little bit tricky to get to him on this slate. So all in all, Clippers are a team. I'm probably not going to get to anyone on the main slate, really, if you're just making one lineup. I think they're all fine plays. If you get to Kawhi, if you get to Paul George, but I'm not going to prioritize them. On the Dallas side, Luka makes for a contrarian play. I'm going to open up this door, so I'm getting really hot. I think some other people have. No one's really around right now. Luka is 11-3. What I like about him is you're going to get him at like sub 10% ownership. Again, so much ownership is going to go to the guys in the late game that I think Luka makes for an interesting play. Not really the best match here against the Clippers, but what I like, again, he fills up the stat sheet. He's going to do it all. The 11-3 price and the matchup is, again, going to really lower the ownership. I think he's still in play for GPPs, though. And when he's shooting the ball well, like we saw the last game against the Kings, he can have upside for 70, 80 fantasy points. Porzingis, again, more of a contrarian play right now in this slate, but should be a guy that gets 35 minutes if he stays out of foul trouble. The good thing with these Dallas Stars is they're going to play huge minutes. The matchup for him is a little bit better, right? Clippers solid team defensively, but he's going to be matched up against a guy like Ivica Zubac, a guy like JaMychal Green. That's a better matchup for Porzingis than, again, Luka, probably with Paul George, Kawhi Leonard on him. So 8-5, he's going to go super under the radar, but like that Houston game, I think Porzingis could have 50 fantasy point upside in this one. So I have interest there. But again, more of a secondary play. And then everyone else is a cross-off. I'm just not even considering the secondary plays here for Dallas. Not in this slate. There's too many good value plays for me to consider those guys. Portland, Denver. The good thing with Portland, they're going to play huge minutes, right? They're running an 8-man rotation. Lillard, McCollum, I'm not going to get to them. Again, if you landed them, that's okay. But I'm not going out of my way to play them. Again, the positive are they're going to play 40 minutes. They have to win this game. So Terry Stotts, again, letting him play a lot. Nurkic, even at 8-9, I think is still in play. What I love about him, again, he'll do it all. Rebounds, points, blocks, steals, assists. Does everything. It's a revenge game here. Denver traded him away for basically nothing, and they got Plumlee in return. So Nurkic could want some revenge here. I think we get 32, 33 minutes. My concern is he's going up against Jokic, who there's foul trouble risk on both sides. So with Nurkic, with Jokic, both are going to be have the ball in their hands a decent amount. So I'm a little bit worried there about the foul trouble issues. There's definitely a chance that both Nurkic or Jokic could get in some foul trouble. That's my concern. Melo at 5-6, not prioritizing in this slate. Zach Collins at 4-3. There's too many good value plays for me to consider him. Also, guys, always in foul trouble, so don't know if I want to go there. Really, that's it. So I think my main interest there is Nurkic. I think that's the guy I would consider. Gary Trent Jr., again, he's been shooting the ball unreal. The minutes are going up. My concern is if he's not knocking those threes, has a super, super low floor. So don't think I can prioritize him either. Let's move on to Denver. Denver, again, the big news is Jamal Murray's status. We're probably not going to get that news until way later, which does hurt. So you may want to just leave a lot of room in those late games because I think there's huge upside in the Lakers-Rockets game. Definitely some upside in this game. So I don't mind if you just leave 5 or 6 spots open in these last 2 games. And when we get that Jamal Murray news, then build from there. If Jamal Murray's out, again, Jokic, Monte Morris, and Michael Porter Jr. all get a huge boost. Morris, we have the biggest minutes bump, should play 35-plus minutes. I think he's solid play at 4-7. Jokic, again, is certainly in play here at 9-5. My concern, which I mentioned with Nurkic, is the foul trouble issues. Again, both centers going to have the ball in the hands a lot. So I do like both of those centers. And then finally, Michael Porter Jr., can I get him right here? Full disclosure, I am playing him right now, hoping Jamal Murray is out. But he'll probably get in foul trouble like the first time I played him, where he played 25 minutes and only had 18 fantasy points. The 2 times I faded him, 44 and 36 minutes, 59 and 53 fantasy points. So full disclosure, right now I'm playing MPJ. That means he's going to have a bad game, and that means he's getting in foul trouble. It's just the way it goes for me. But yeah, no, seriously, MPJ I think is a really solid play. if Jamal Murray's out, you got to love him in a good match here against Portland. So really do like MPJ. I like Jokic if you can get to him. I think Monte Morris is solid. No Paul Millsap. No Will Barton. No Gary Harris. I think Jeremy Grant gets a few extra minutes at 4-3. He is a value play that I think is certainly in play. We have to do a little bit more offensively. I think Mason Plumlee gets a little bit of run at the backup 4-2. I think he probably gets 20, 25 minutes. I think he goes a super, super low-owned value play, but I think he is still in play. Finally, does Bull get in the rotation? I think there's a decent chance Bull actually does get in the rotation here. But do you want to play him at min-price with so many other solid options? I don't know. I think it's a dart throw, right? Definitely not a one lineup play, but if you're making 10 lineups, 15 lineups, maybe throw him in one and hope he gets like 15 to 20 minutes. If he does, right? If Bull gets 15, 20 minutes, I think he could crush this salary. So I just have I don't have a good feel on what they're going to do. Again, they could give minutes more to Troy Daniels, run a little bit more small ball. PJ Dozier could get a few extra minutes. So that's a concern there. Lastly, Lakers-Rockets. Again, this is the game. This is the key to the slate, in my opinion. No LeBron James. AD at 10-3, I think looks amazing. My one concern is, do they limit him right now? He did only play 29 minutes in back-to-back in the blowout, so I'm not super, super concerned that he's going to be limited. Great spot. No LeBron. I think you have to love AD at 10-3. The only concern is maybe he gets limited. Then Kuzma is also one of my favorite plays at 4-5. He's always someone I get to if LeBron or AD or both are out. Love Kuzma here. He's going to be way more aggressive. He's going to be way more aggressive offensively. I think he's going to have to do a lot more. An amazing matchup. So love Kuzma, love AD. Those are two of my favorite plays. The value are now in play here. We have Alex Caruso questionable. If Alex Caruso plays and starts at point guard, I think he is one of the top value plays of the day at 3-4. Again, we're probably not going to get that news till later, which does kind of suck. But Caruso is someone I'm certainly considering. I think a guy like Deion Waiters now becomes more viable at 3-7. I think he gets more minutes, maybe closer to 30. He's a guy that can put the ball in the bucket. I have slight interest there at 3-7. I think KCP, Danny Green are okay. Again, they're going to have to do a little bit more. I think they're fine. And then finally, does Quinn Cook? I think if Alex Caruso's out, there's a chance Quinn Cook could start at point guard. If that's the case, I have interest there. Whoever starts at point guard for the Lakers, I would like. Maybe they start like a KCP for some reason at point, or they start Caruso or Cook. Whoever starts at point guard, I like for the Lakers. Again, great spot. I think that's something. And then Markieff Morris also should still get some run. He is probable. Don't know if I'm going to prioritize him. Again, the guys I'm prioritizing right now obviously are AD and Kuzma. We have to kind of wait for the news with Caruso news. If Caruso's going to play and start at point guard, I like him. If he's out, I think Quinn Cook's viable. I think a guy like Deion Waiters then becomes more viable. KCP. The centers, Dwight Howard's back. So don't know if I'm going to get to McGee or Dwight Howard. I'm worried that the Lakers just run a lot of AD at the 5 with Houston running small ball. So sure, McGee and Dwight Howard are really cheap. I think those would be guys to look to in the showdown slate. Don't know if I'm going to get to them in the main slate because, again, there's so many good cheap plays. I still think McGee or Dwight Howard, if I knew like one of those guys was going to play close to 20 minutes, like I would love them at the price. But again, my worry is they match Houston and kind of run a little bit more small ball. Lastly, Houston, no Westbrook, or he's doubtful, so don't expect him to go. Harden, love him at 10-7. I think he's one of the top plays again. My concern here, like I mentioned, or not with the Lakers, but my concern is that they just double team them. Like we've seen teams do a lot since the NBA was returned to the bubble. So that is my concern there, is that Harden just gets double teamed. But again, with no Westbrook, he could shoot the ball 30 plus times, really. And we've seen Harden go for 80, 90 fantasy points when Westbrook's out. Covington at 6'5", it's just too much for me to get to Covington. Like the guys I would consider, I think Tucker and Green are fine, but really the guys I want to consider for value are McLemore and Rivers. I assume one of those guys starts. If Rivers starts at point, I like him at min price. Not a super, super high usage guy, but I think the minutes are probably going to be around 25 to 30. Same thing with McLemore. If he starts, I have interest there. If whoever doesn't start of those two, you can still play the other one. So I think those two are certainly in play for value as well. Again, there's so much value on the slate, makes it a little bit tricky. And then finally, I do want to mention Chris Clemens might get in the rotation. We don't know. That's a complete dart throw in GPPs. He could play 15 to 20 minutes. He could not be in the rotation. But yeah, that really wraps it up, guys. We got about 10 minutes to lock, so I'll try to answer some questions. Let me refresh Fantasy Labs, and then we'll get to some questions. If you enjoy, again, all this free content, would really appreciate it if you leave a like button on the video. We're close to 4K subs, so subscribe, hit that subscribe button. Currently live streaming from a car, dedication, but had to get it in, so let's do it. 216 viewers. Hero or none. That's a really tough call because currently I'm playing both. I'll go Hero for the slight discount, but I do like both Hero and Nunn. Pick one of Robinson, Hero, and Nunn. I'll go Hero because he's the cheapest. I'm not going to get to Duncan. I still think Duncan can get you there. It's Hero, it's Nunn, it's Olynyk, the three guys I really like. I think Iguodala's in play too, but again, there's so many value plays potentially with this Lakers-Rockets game too. Can you play AD and Harden in the same lineup? Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Melo or Oladipo tonight, it's going to be Oladipo in a better matchup. I think Nunn and Kelly are the safest plays. Let's see. Nunn, Brook Lopez, or George Hill, Middleton. George Hill, definitely Nunn and Brook Lopez. Even though I'm not super high on Brook Lopez, Bledsoe's limited. Yeah, I'm not going to get to Bledsoe. MPJ, smash spot, yes. Again, full disclosure, I have MPJ in right now. That means he's going to have a terrible game and get in foul trouble. I just know it's going to happen. I'm emotionally drained from redoing my lineups over and over again. I feel you, man. Again, I was just at a funeral, so I was trying to keep track of news, and then I had to get out of here a little bit early. So, yeah. Brogdon or Rubio. That's a tough one for me. I'll go Brogdon, but I do like both as contrarian plays in the mid-range. Can you rank your interest in Kuzma, Waiters, Green now that Braun is out? Yeah, so it's Kuzma 1, Deion Waiters 2, Green 3. How do you feel about fading Harden and Brown smashing the Portland-Denver game in GPP? I'm good with that. I am. Because, maybe they double-team Harden every time. Maybe Anthony Davis gets limited. There's no guarantee right now. But, yeah, so I think that is in play. Oladipo viable, I think he is, but maybe not as much now with Brogdon playing and some other, again, plays opening up. Brogdon, fine as contrarian option. I'm not prioritizing him. Hero, Nunn, and Kelly in the same lineup. Yes, that is fine. My concern with Miami guys is that they could have limited minutes because of the blowout. That's the only concern. But yeah, let's see. I'm going Harden, Hero, Warren, Crowder, Nurkic, Macklemore, Porter Jr., and Kuzma. I'm good with it. It's a little bit contrarian. Adebayo or Ayton. That's a tough one. I do like Bam, but I'm going with DeAndre Ayton here at 7-2. I think he could have a breakout game against Miles Turner. DK might pivot to Jokic, Waiters, and AD McLemore can wait on decision until 8. Yeah, so guys, I think a good way to approach this slate is leave room for the late games. Leave some spots open, leave 4, maybe even 5 spots for those last 2 games. Denver, Portland, LA, Houston. There's going to be some good plays there. Again, AD, Harden, Jokic, MPJ, and then value plays. So, yeah, obviously if Jamal Murray is out or plays, don't play Monte Morris, and then MPJ, Jokic get a slight hit. But with Paul Millsap out, I would still think MPJ gets good minutes. He's shown himself. Obviously, he can have upside. DK might, okay, let's see. Like Crowder, I think Crowder is fine, but again, I'm going to prioritize the other guys I mentioned. Let's see. It's going a little fast here. Let's see. Is it too... no, that's fine. You can play Kellyo, Nunn, and Hero all together. And my concern is the game blows out. Caruso, if he starts, or Iggy. I would prefer Caruso to Iggy if Caruso starts at point guard. But again, we're not going to get that news, and the Miami game's going to lock soon. Cheap Rockets, maybe Rivers or McLemore. Yes, both are in play. Again, kind of dependent on who starts. I would prefer whoever starts with Rivers or McLemore. But both are in play. Both are lower usage guys, but I think they have to get a good run here. Can I fade all the Heat? Yeah, sure. You can fade Miami. There's value elsewhere, right? Houston, LA, possibly Denver, right? So, yeah, fade them and hope Milwaukee blows them out. Cheap Rockets, yeah, I already mentioned. Okay, Waiters or Nunn. I'm going to go Nunn right now, but I have interest in Waiters too. Best utility, 4,800. I already have Miami guys. Mate, if Murray is out. Morris, if Murray is out. Grant, if Murray is in. Yeah, that's probably how I would go. I would go Monte Morris if Murray's out, and then Grant if Murray's in, because Grant should get good run. That's probably the way I'm going to go. Giannis and Harden in the same lineup. Yeah, Giannis is going to be a contrarian option, but I'm fine with it. Best cash plays. That's a tricky one because there's really no guarantee here, guys. Again, we have the Miami value looks good, but there is some chance the game blows out. I'm going to go with, I think the best cash plays right now are, again, Anthony Davis and James Harden, and then probably the Miami value, so Hero and Nunn. But there's a lot of different ways you can go. Again, you can avoid the Miami value if you think the game blows out, which I think there's a decent chance it does. Just got to work. What's the biggest injury news? Well, we have no LeBron, most likely no Westbrook. Paul Millsap got ruled out. We have Jamal Murray status up in the air. AD or Luka, Jeremy Grant, Jeff Green, or Olynyk. So I'm going to go AD right now over Luka. I still have interest in Luka, more of a contrarian play. Jeremy Grant, Jeff Green, or Olynyk. I think Olynyk has the most upside. I would rank him Olynyk, Jeremy Grant, Kelly O. Or I would rank him Kelly O, I should say, Jeremy Grant, then Jeff Green. I'm keeping AD Macklemore. I think I like Melo more than MPJ guarding him. Yeah, Melo's not a good defender, so that's a bigger boost to MPJ. Harden and Cam Johnson or Warren and Ayton. I'm not super high about Cam Johnson, so I would go Warren and Ayton, even though, I mean, fading Harden is super, super risky. I'm just not really that high on Cam Johnson. Hill or Waiters, it's going to be Deion Waiters for me. I was at a funeral, too. Oh, sorry about that, man. Yeah, best forward, 6K under. Forward, 6K under, let's see. I think for me, it's probably Oladipo. I would say Oladipo, or if you get down to Kelly O. So, yeah. Or even go way down to Jeremy Grant. Let's see. Iggy or Malcolm. Tricky right now. I'll go Iggy. Let's see. Zubac. Zubac's in play. More contrarian option. Monte Morris. Strictly dependent on Jamal Murray news. If Jamal Murray's out, I do like Monte Morris as a value play. He should play 35-plus minutes. Hero and Kuzma or Iggy and Olynyk. I will go Hero and Kuzma. MPJ and Cash. Yeah, if Jamal Murray's out, I think that's a great play. If Jamal Murray is in, I still think MPJ is viable, but we'll get to take a slight hit. Oladipo or Duncan Robinson. Oladipo for me for sure there. Ayton or Miles Turner. Close one. I'll spend up a little bit more for Ayton. I still think Miles Turner could have an upside game here, though. Plumlee or Iggy. Iggy for me, even though I think Plumlee goes super, super low owned and still extra minutes. 3K Quinn Cook thoughts. I have interest in Quinn Cook. If Caruso is out. How do you feel about what do you feel is a good number of terms of locks and labs? Sorry, not sure what you mean there. Hey, man, thanks for all the daily uploads. Really appreciate it. Let's get some cash today. Hey, let's do it. Sorry if I miss some of these guys. Harden or Luka, definitely Harden. Is Lou Will in play? If he's not going to be limited, I've mentioned Lou Will. Starting to like Lillard. Lillard more contrarian option. I'm not going to get their thoughts. TJ Warren, he's on fire now. I think TJ Warren's in play. More of a contrarian option for his price, though. Again, I prefer AD. I prefer getting to Harden. That's my roster build. Kuzma, House, definitely Kuzma for me. Thoughts on Zubac and contrarian option. Grant, Caruso, or Kelly O. Malcolm. That's a tough one. Again, dependent on Caruso plays. Caruso plays. I think it is Caruso. Grant, both are decent options. Really. McGee and Quinn Cook thoughts. McGee, Dwight Howard, I'm going to stay away. I think they're more showdown plays. I'm worried about their minutes with Houston small ball. Quinn Cook, depending on Caruso news. Devin Booker, contrarian option. I'm not getting there. I prefer Ayton on the same team. Kawhi, Porzingis, or TJ Warren, a utility. Tough one. Of those three, I'll go Porzingis. Core 4, tricky. Again, I'll go Harden and AD, even though they're really expensive. Then I'll go Hero and Nunn as the Core 4. How do you feel about Westbrook if he plays? I don't think Westbrook's going to play. If he does play, I like him at 9K. Pacers starting Depot at small forward. Torrey Craig or Hero, definitely Hero there. You playing McGee at all? I'm not. Again, that's more of a showdown play. If I knew JaVale McGee or Dwight Howard were going to play 15-plus minutes, I would really like them, but I'm worried they match the small ball right. Melo or Depot, definitely Oladipo for me. Hey, DK, Ayton, Warren, Dame Dollar, or AD, Harden, Grant. It's going to be AD, Harden, Grant there. Rivers or Mackmore, dependent on the starting lineup news. I assume Rivers starts at point guard, so I would prefer Rivers right now, but we'll see. Again, Rivers, even with playing alongside Rivers will still be a low usage guy, but I think mid price in a good matchup probably gets at least 25 minutes. I'm rolling with Harden, Nunn, MPJ, Davis, Ayton, Hero, Mackmore, and Kuzma. Yeah, that's basically identical to mine, except I have Rivers instead of Mackmore. Again, I'm gonna wait and see what they do with the starting line. Like the video for this man, seriously underrated. Hey, really do appreciate that. Yeah, we're almost at 200 viewers, so if you do enjoy the content, we'd really appreciate if you could leave a like button. I just want to make sure I'm good. Yeah, so for these early games right now, I only have Nunn, Hero, and Ayton. Again, I think Ayton goes a little bit lower owned on the slate, but I like him. Bam or Warren, that's a tough one. I'll go Bam. I don't think Warren continues this good as shooting, but it's tricky. Let's see. KCP could be a good play. Yeah, again, kind of depend on Caruso news. I don't know if I would prioritize KCP, though. Again, it would be 80, it would be Kuzma, and probably whoever starts at point guard. JJ Barea, Dave is not going to JJ. Zubac with Harold or Olynyk. It's going to be Kelly O there. Lou Will, Wes Matthews, or Nunn, Torrey Craig. I'm not really excited about Wes Matthews or Torrey Craig. So I'll go Nunn and Craig. But again, I don't really like Matthews or Craig there. What's the max you leave on the table of the GPP? Depending on the entry fee, I think low dollar, probably 1,000 to 1,500. Higher dollar GPPs, I think you could leave about 500 or so. Is 8,800 for Warren and FanDuel a lot? Yes, it is. I still like Warren. It's a revenge spot, but does he continue to shoot like 80%? I don't think so. Again, we have Brogdon and Oladipo playing as their core again. Yeah, so core for me would be, again, Harden, Anthony Davis, Kendrick Nunn, and Tyler Hero. Thanks, DK. Appreciate your dedication. No problem, man. I really wanted to get this live stream in. So I got to wrap it up here in 1 minute. I got some people waiting. So last questions here. We got about 5 minutes, but yeah, 1 more minute, and then I'm going to get out here. IDK is not very big usage guy. I think none probably plays 25 to 30 minutes. One more question here, and then again, unfortunately, I got to get out of here, guys. Anything else? I'm not seeing anything. So good luck, guys. Hope you guys have a good day, and I'm going to get out of here. If you have any more questions, hit me up on Twitter, but I'll see you guys later.